All right, so um, I haven't done a video forever again, so um, I wanted to feel a cycle out and see how they were going to implement the new changes and everything, which I'm going to be talking about. But basically, this video is titled "What is it like to be a drill during COVID cycles?" So during these times, what it has been like, and then what are the changes going to be, and then in my personal opinion overall, or how difficult or how easier it is now that we got COVID cycles. So first thing is the implementation of yellow phase. Yellow phase was something really new, COVID new, and they implemented it literally as soon as they approved the training of trainees at BCTs, at basic trainings. Now here at Fort Jackson, we have a 2 weeks yellow phase, which um, for us, because I know it's different from every base, but for Fort Jackson in general, that yellow phase, the trainees are without the drills at BCT level. Um, but it's the separation, it's like the kind of quarantine style separation, so you don't have sex integration, so you have integrated female platoons and male platoons, and they will split the company into different areas in the Fort Jackson during your yellow phase. So, for example, if you are a 213 or 260 battalion drill and you're picking up a new cycle, maybe Delta Company for that battalion is split between 113 footprints and 213, or 113 and 334 footprints. Um, it varies across the board. It's just the nature of trying not to get people infected. And then throughout those 2 weeks, you basically just internal training, and yes, you still run your duty weeks as normal duty weeks for your duty platoon and duty squad and whatever, um, but it's more internal training. So like those drill sergeant will stick with that platoon, and you will feed them internally. You will feed them internally. You will train internal for that introduction of basic training, and it's different, super different from what everybody red face initial training was when we all came in, right? I just noticed that I recorded the first 2 minutes with the fan on, so I don't know if it's gonna. I I do all my videos raw, so I don't know. I literally just gonna post it once I finish recording. But I'm sorry for this sound or whatever. But so yeah, so you basically stick together, and throughout that 2 weeks, you are basically quarantining that platoon internally, so that you don't get spread COVID. There is the new integration of yellow phase, and I will talk about that with the my little section about things that are changing. But that is basically yellow phase. For 2 weeks straight, you're internally platoon internal run training and the introduction of BCT and whatever. But the there's a lot of changes coming, and they're coming really fast with the new CDC guidance and the new DoD policy, which is pretty legit actually. So, but what really sucks about having that yellow face aspect of this training is that you lose a lot of time at the end of the cycle for recovery, and you also lose a lot of valuable training that you could be doing at the beginning of the cycle. But if you really plan your training around the concept of the indoor and the admin aspect of all the training, and you do all the admin aspect of training at that yellow phase, then you're golden, because then you're gonna fast track through the training at red phase, white phase, and blue phase. So I think there's some duty drills lose the opportunity of actually investing in yellow phase more, and not treating it as a hey, just sit there and waste your time or whatever. But like, if you actually come up with a concept where you can just kill all the training, all the admin PowerPoints and everything, indoor classroom stuff at yellow phase, then you can actually invest a lot of your time in red phase and white phase and blue phase in actually training, because you already finished that administration point at the yellow phase. So I think that's a good thing and a bad thing about the concept of yellow phase. Um, Issues that yellow phase and COVID cycle has brought. I want to start with CIF. I know this is a well-known issue with that all the drills are really voicing their issue with CIF in general. The concept is when the COVID started, each company drew straight from the CIF. So gear that is issued to the trainees after initial issue, after that one we call it 120 AG battalion do the initial entry issue. So after that, so the TA50 layout, TA50 gear, and the follow-on training gear that they actually keep when they leave basic training, that gear is drawn by the company and the company drills. So we go to CIF ourselves, draw the equipment, lay it out, account it, and then we pack it up in duffel bags, individual duffel bags. We take it to the company, and then we issue it to the trainees. Some gear are company internal gear that the trainee has to turn in back to CIF, but back to the company. But for 80% of the gear we give them, it stays with them, and then follow on training. The issue with that is the accountability of that gear is crazy because you're you're going and coming, with the trainees, and it sucks. It really sucks. Anyways, I'm on staff duty, and there's a lot of pauses and playing and recording because people are coming in and out. But CIF. So yes, it sucks because of the accountability of the gear. Going and coming with the trainees. You lose gear. They don't get DX correctly because the DX route is so hard. But what we are trying to do is going back to the rhythm where CIF issues to the trainee instead of the companies, and that would definitely be better overall. But that is one of the biggest issue we had as a company and drills. As drills training during yellow phase or COVID cycles, that is one of the biggest issues we have. The next one issue is DFAC. So during yellow phase, there's no DFAC. It's hot A's and MREs. There's no DFAC whatsoever. And I think, honestly, if you go back to regular cycle drill sergeants, like they were here during regular time, no yellow phase and whatever, I didn't experience that. But they experienced regular and COVID cycles. So, but what I hear in the feedback is you really make your money with that discipline aspect of drill sergeant at the DFAC. Because that's when you really get into the meaty and potatoes of that. Getting into the corrective little issues that trainees may have, like attitudes on marching right, keeping the marching distance or anything like that. Like that's what people say. Like by the second day, third day, you go to the DFAC. That hurry up, eat, sit down, eat, and get out of the DFAC aspect of the discipline of basic training, that is kind of delayed until that first DFAC, which is 3 weeks already into the cycle. So, which trying to incorporate that late in the cycle, having them already have like a weight of how to do shout lines, how to do hot A's, serving line, and all that. Like you have to break that habit to, put this new concept in their brain, so that you can run the DFAC efficiently and correctly. But it's so hard to kind of like instill that discipline so late in the cycle. It's doable. Obviously, we've done it. It's nothing like impossible, but it's just a friction point where we see like that DFAC third day into the basic training is like it's a wake up call for them. Like, oh man, like this, I gotta eat fast. I cannot waste time, and that hurry up mentality is delayed until that red phase, first week of red phase. And I think once that DFAC comes back into that yellow phase, and COVID happens and we go back to the new norm, I think it's gonna be awesome for me at least, to see that how much different it is seeing a regular DFAC compared to COVID DFAC. But overall, before when COVID started, DFAC wasn't even a thing throughout the entire cycle. So like seeing, when I came into my first cycle in September 2020, that was the first cycle we brought DFAC back. And it was like COVID, 6 feet apart. You have to leave a seat between each other. And bringing DFAC back still is a good thing. Like, I don't care if it's, white face, red face, blue face DFAC, but it was cool to get DFAC incorporated back into the norm instead of just waiting completely for the new COVID norm to establish themselves and then delaying the introduction of DFAC until like probably 2022. So it's cool to see that they actually, that was one of the things that came back into the training, even though COVID cycle is still in full effect. Um, so COVID cycle during training. So the COVID cycle during training honestly has not really changed the way we train. It has changed the way we recovered, because recovery operations are condensed like hell. They are, I'm telling you right now, if you think you didn't have enough time, if you regular drill that we're here during regular time and you were asking for more white space for recovery, imagine recovering in like 3 days, 4 days, a full cycle, and you have to do CIF, internal CIF, return, returning of gear and all that. Like, there's a lot that goes into recovery operation after the forge, to get them ready for graduation and then get them ready for that AIT travel. That is not enough time, and I think that's the biggest training aspect issue that we've seen in the changes we've seen with the COVID cycles. So we hopefully that's something that, with time and one of the changes we're going to be talking about in a second, it's going to come back and give us a little bit more recovery time. So the things that are coming, the things that are changing already, the things that are already getting implemented during a couple graduations that already happened, things that I know for a fact already changed, and things that are coming into effect soon. So first thing is vaccination. So trainees are getting vaccinated. Still, obviously, a volunteer system. It's not, nothing is mandatory. Not even the DoD has made it mandatory yet. But there are people getting vaccinated, which is better, because now with the more vaccination, more population are coming vaccinated already, so that we can actually go back to the norm faster, which is cool. Trainee vaccination wasn't even in a conversation back in January, but now we are ending July, and there's already many battalions that already got 50-60% of trainees vaccinated already. There's a story recently. There's a company that had 100% cadre and trainee vaccination complete, and that company got the first full cycle normal, no yellow face, fully in effect, and they got it through getting the trainees voluntarily vaccinated, and then the cadre got vaccinated too. So like, that was the first company in the middle of this pandemic that got a full return of regular cycle. So it's coming. You gotta get there. It's just something that it's gonna take time for people to convince themselves that they need a vaccination. Another thing is changing is Family Day. So Family Day in Fort Jackson is back. So what that means is they're actually gonna allow families to come in on the day before graduation. The trainee is gonna go on pass. They're gonna come back to the company. Then they're gonna go on graduation, and then after that they can either they can take the trainee to the AIT locations, or they can the trainee has to come back to the company after graduation, and they get travel. They get bus or flight into the AIT location. There's more into this than me, quoting me, my channel, quoting me into this. You gotta get into their battalion graduation rules, which is I think the next graduation is 339. I'm not 100% positive, or 113. I think is graduating this week. But anyways, the main point I was trying to make, Family Day and graduation are coming back into their normal at Fort Jackson, which is pretty cool. I got to see already a full graduation with people in the stands last cycle, and then this cycle, which I'm currently in, we're gonna see this battalion that I'm in. They're gonna see their first Family Day and graduation into effect, with allowing families taking their trainees to the AIT locations. And there's a bunch of more rules into this that you have to read into your trainee battalion if you're a parent watching me, or if you're drill sergeant coming into the trail. You gotta dig into your own battalion to get the meaties of what the rules of who is allowed to take the trainees to the IT location. Next thing is graduation. And again, graduation is normal now. It's completely normal. Um, in a sense, yes, it's normal. So I don't want to get really into in depth on the graduation because it's basically it's for Jackson is going back to the normal here. Um, I think the biggest change with the graduation that I don't want to forget is the fact that before you had to reserve and you gotta get a ticket to graduation. Now it's fully open, first come first base, first serve on graduation. You know it's regular cycle graduation. And then there's two more things I want to talk about. One is the face mask rule, right? Graduations are if they're outdoors, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. If you're vaccinated, if you're not vaccinated, you gotta wear a mask like normal. Fort Jackson has relaxed the face mask standard, which is awesome. Um, but in a general consensus is that you know as the rules getting relaxed, there's less people with face masks, and there's no face mask requirement indoor if you're vaccinated and all that. So that's also pretty cool because imagine doing a graduation with thousands of people in the stands at 100-degree weather with face masks. That will suck. And then the last thing is they're bringing back what is called, or not bringing back, they're bringing a concept called green phase. So that is basically talking to that one company that got 100% vaccinated trainees and cadre. So once that company is green phase, that means everything is regular, no yellow phase. It's just regular training schedule, and that's gonna start getting implemented as the level of percentage of trainee ratio is getting vaccinated, or the unvaccinated and vaccinated ratio is higher. So once that get developed, we're gonna start seeing regular, fully integrated cycles from day zero. So, you know, overall, this video I wanted to clear out a couple of the questions because I got a couple of questions on my couple of the comments in all the videos, like how is COVID cycle different from regular. So here's a couple of the things I picked up during last cycle that I want to do a video on. So if you have other questions and everything, just put them in the comments. I always reply to every single question and every single comment that you guys put. If you want to find me on Facebook, is Cristhian, spells Cristhian 1021, and on Instagram you can find me on Cristhian.Journal, and I'm in the Instagram picture is me with the drill sergeant hat. So like someone steals my picture, just make sure that write me on a quick PM. You want to verify that is me. But I also want to shout out to a couple people, the people that keep seeing me here, the PX and the clothing and sales and going around. They're like, oh yeah, you're the guy from YouTube. I'm not that famous whatsoever, and I don't have that many subscribers whatsoever. But I've seen that the incoming drills and the army population are looking at my videos, and they keep saying that even though Drill Academy it is not technically what I went through, because I'd made a video for every week that I was at the academy. There is still useful information on those videos, so I want to still give you guys a shout out. Thank you for saying hi. If you see me down the road anywhere, just say hi, and we'll chat around with like a normal human being. So if you find those drill sergeant videos useful, still just keep sharing them. The more people that gets informed, the better. Because once you are informed and you go to the academy ready and prepared, and you're not like me when I went super blind, it's gonna make your life easier and successful at the training than just being blindsided like with everything. Because I was blindsided by every single day there. Well, other than that, just take care. Shout out for everybody. Just let me know if you guys need anything. Comment below, like and share, and always subscribe if you want. Like I said in all the videos, I really don't care about it. Just if you find it useful, like it. If you don't hate my ass, just comment below and then share it if you find it informative. All right, so peace until the next video.